Hello all and welcome to this network's flagship show, Drop In with the Dropstep. I am your host Rashad, and today I'm going to take you on a 12-minute ride through the NBA this past week and give you everything you need to know. The show will air every Sunday at 10 a.m. on this channel, and I hope to be able to keep you up to speed on the league with each episode. Now, just because this show exists doesn't mean the other content you're used to seeing from me on this channel will disappear all of a sudden. I promise there will be plenty of analysis to go around for everyone to enjoy. In fact, there will probably be more content that you're used to seeing from me on this channel moving forward with the launch of this network. So stay tuned for all that I'm going to be dropping. So without further ado, let's get right into this first episode. I am really excited, and I hope to see you here every week moving forward. Our first topic today will cover the hottest topic in the league, and that is Damian Lillard. After a summer full of will they, won't they's, conflicting reports, and destination predictions, Damian Lillard has finally been traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. Dame time is now paired up with the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo, creating a top 5 duo in the league immediately. We'll show you the full trade details here on the screen, as there were a lot of moving parts in this deal, but here were the most notable pieces of player movement in this trade. DeAndre Ayton finally gets a fresh start in Portland. The Blazers also get Drew Holiday, who they're expected to flip very soon according to multiple reports, and will thus add on to the assets they are getting from this trade. And the Suns continue to fill out their bench as they get Jusuf Nurkic to round out their rotation. Now, some could call this whole Dame and Portland trade situation volatile. There were sharp demands made from Damian Lillard's camp as he requested only to be traded to the Miami Heat. And in a recent article written by Chris Haynes of Bleacher Report, it came out that Joe Cronin, GM of the Trailblazers, conveyed to Lillard that he was going to go after every possible asset if he was forced to do a deal with the Miami Heat. And then the rest is recent history. According to that article, it became clear to Damian Lillard and his camp that he probably wasn't going to end up in Miami, and thus he ends up in Milwaukee. I sat down for a couple minutes over in the commentary corner to give some of my thoughts, some more in-depth analysis thoughts on the Damian Lillard trade, so enjoy. So I love this trade for the Blazers for multiple reasons. First of all, they finally are choosing a direction to go with. No longer are the days where we're looking at the Trailblazers year after year, finish anywhere between 4 and 10 and be like, okay, what are we supposed to do with this squad and how do we get better, or what direction are we supposed to choose at this point? That was a large part of what the Blazers were going through as an organization during these latter Dame years, and to see them finally pull the trigger on something, despite who's wrong, who's right, who did someone dirty, yada yada, having a direction makes me happier for this team. Not Joe Cronin, but for the team and the young guys specifically. They also get a young center to grow with in DeAndre Ayton, who, now that he's freed from the shackles of whatever was going on in Phoenix, hopefully he's able to revive his career just a little bit in Portland and be a totally different player mentally than what he was with Phoenix. So I'm really looking forward to that for him. For the Blazers as well, I'm really excited for the young guys, man. I'm really excited for the Shadens, the Ants, the Scoots. It's nice to be able to see a group of young guys who are very clearly talented be able to come together without pressure, without expectation, just go out there and hoop. Milwaukee is the obvious winner, of course. They get Dame, they get Giannis, they pair those two together, and they get a top 3 duo in the league now. I think there are a lot of questions surrounding their depth, and the people that are asking those questions, I just want you to think about for a second. Have the Bucks really had that deep of a bench even during their championship run? There's a lot of new pressures, I think, on some of those bench pieces now that the team is in even more of a win now state, having just traded for a superstar. You're going to need that bench to step up in ways that they probably haven't before. And also they get a massive boost in the half-court offense with Damian Lillard coming, because the difference between ISOs with Dame and the ISOs with Drew, it's going to scare some people. It's going to shock some people, and I think it's going to put a lot of new things in perspective when we see how lethal this Bucks offense now is going to be with Damian Lillard on the court. We knew the Bucks as a really good defensive team, primarily. Now they're going to be a juggernaut offense. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun to see. And for Phoenix, they fill out their bench. They get Jusuf Nurkic, who is a decent replacement center for DeAndre Ayton. I'm not jumping over the moon at the Jusuf Nurkic pickup because he's kind of just a big. He's a starting caliber big. He's a good rebounder. You're not getting much from Yusuf Nurkic anymore. He's not better than DeAndre Ayton. They also end up getting Nas Little and Grayson Allen in this deal, and these are just a couple more depth pieces, more pieces that could shoot. Nas Little, very much less than Grayson Allen in terms of shooting. Grayson Allen was a 47% corner three-point shooter. Nas Little was still 39, so it's to be respected, of course. When paired with the gravity of people like Beal, people like Booker, and people like KD, you now can't sag off those corners as much. When you're looking at a Josh Okogie in the corner last playoffs, you're now looking at a Grayson Allen. You're now looking at a Yuta Watanabe. You're now looking at a Keita Bates-Diop in that corner. All guys who shoot high 30s to low 40% from three. These are threats. And I think that part of the Suns game, I'm really proud of because now they filled out their archetypal needs, I guess you could say. All three organizations in this trade have some positives, of course, and some negatives to go along with it. And I'm just really excited to see all the new paths that each of these three teams is on. So thank you very much for listening. Shortly after the Damian Lillard trade news broke, the whole Woj and Shams notification that we all got on our phones, I hopped on a call with Matthias and Jeff, 2/3 of the Soul Hoops podcast group. Why these two in particular? Well, Matthias is a lifelong Blazers fan and Jeff is a lifelong Milwaukee Bucks fan, so I felt it really just made sense to get some more analysis and viewpoint from two people who are closely involved as fans in this trade. Here's a snippet from that conversation. The full video can be found on the channel. Matthias, for you, the last question I have is, with the departure of Dame, which of the players are you most excited to see blossom?
Jeff already knows this immediately. I'm an Anthony Simons super fan.
Oh, yeah, you did have that thread.
Yeah, I'm super excited for him. He's been like a 25-5 guy with Dame out on good efficiency. He seems like every year he improves. And I think with Scoot, he'll fit nice. And then obviously I got to talk about Scoot because I think he has the highest potential. I think he can contend for the Rookie of the Year. I think a lot of people are just going to shoo in Victor Wembanyama, but I do think Scoot has a more NBA-ready body. I think he's been in an NBA-ish scenario in the G League Ignite, and I think he'll come out more consistent, is my belief, in the beginning of the year, so he'll have a head start, and I think he'll really compete for the race.
The season is almost officially here. The NBA preseason will start on October 5th, where the Dallas Mavericks and the Minnesota Timberwolves will travel and face off against each other at the Etihad Arena in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. These games are part of the NBA Abu Dhabi Games event that has now happened for the past 2 seasons after the deal was inked between the two in 2021. The Mavs and Wolves will also play their second preseason games in Abu Dhabi. And speaking of the preseason, I wanted to take a few minutes this show and give some of my things that I'm really excited for coming up this season. So take the next few minutes, sit back, relax, and watch some of my thoughts on this upcoming NBA season. I am excited because I think this is going to be the most amount and most fun competition we've had around the league in many, many years. Between the contenders, the fringe contenders, and some of the young teams that are ahead of schedule, there are a lot of teams right now that are going to be able to provide some very fun basketball during this season. The teams like I said, the Timberwolves. You got Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels about to take leaps. You got the Houston Rockets, who have new coaching, who will hopefully use their players in the correct positions, unlike what they were doing in past years. The Spurs, of course, got Victor Wembanyama, the most highly touted rookie in a very long time for this league. Looking at these teams and looking at the talents, even though the record might not be there, gets me really excited. And even on the Eastern Conference side, knowing that it's going to be a 2-team conference for the most part, kind of dampers things a little bit. But if you can step outside of that for just a second and look at the rest of the teams in this conference, the Magic are a young and exciting squad. I made a whole video about the Orlando Magic, so be sure to click that in the bio or just go to the channel. The Cavs, of course, coming off a 4 seed with 2 young players in DG and Evan Mobley, who have yet to hit their primes. And of course, the Pacers with Tyrese Halliburton's stardom rise. You got Benedict Mathurin, you got Miles Turner, who's on a new contract, feeling rejuvenated. There are a lot of things to look out for in the East as well. Again, even though it's going to be a 2-team conference, I think there will be a lot of fun hoops everywhere else. Moving over to the WNBA side of things, the Las Vegas Aces have clinched their ticket to their second straight WNBA finals appearance after defeating the Dallas Wings 64-61 this past Friday and taking the series 3-0. It was the lowest amount of points that either team had scored this postseason, and star forward for the Aces, Asia Wilson, had her streak of 30-plus point games broken, scoring only 13 points to go with 13 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Now, for the other side of the bracket, the New York Liberty and the Connecticut Sun are heading to Game 4 with the Liberty leading the series 2-1. The Liberty walked away from Game 3 winners by a score of 92-81, and it was a real battle between two of the league's premier forwards, Alyssa Thomas of the Sun and Breanna Stewart of the Liberty. Thomas finished with 23 points, an incredible 14 assists, 9 rebounds, whilst Breanna Stewart of the Liberty amassed 25 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 blocks. That'll do it for me today. I'm Rashad. I want to just thank you all very much for joining me and getting all the way to the end of this episode. I want you to be sure to check out all of the social links in the description down below to be able to interact with me even more. For this week's content, we have one video coming up, one full-length video coming up, and that will be a Ben Simmons film breakdown video, which will come either on Thursday or Friday of this coming week. I will also get the work started on the Western Conference Role Player Appreciation video. That is something I'm looking forward to, as we did do the Eastern Conference version. If you haven't watched that already, that video lives on the channel right now. You all can expect the Western Conference version of that video to be done sometime during the week of October 10th. So, again, just want to say thank you very much for watching this episode. I've been thinking about starting sort of a staple show for this channel for some time, and I'm really glad I was able to get the ball rolling on this one. So thank you very much. I will see you all next Sunday at 10 a.m. sharp Mountain Time. Stay easy, man. Peace out.